Well, good evening and welcome to About the Valley and our midsummer show here. By the way, we're going to be back on August 9th for another show and maybe one even before that. Kind of having a busy summer this year. But the reason we're here is we wanted to have Joanne Powell come in. Joanne is running for Clerk, County Clerk of Courts.
Yes.
And a lot of people wonder, County Clerk of Courts?
What is that?
Yeah, I thought the clerk of courts were all appointed by the governor's council, well, approved by the governor's council, appointed by the governor. Well, they are, in the state court.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize we have a county level court.
Mm-hmm.
And that court handles a lot of stuff that would probably, you would be more inclined to be involved with than the state courts.
Mm.
Unless you break the law, you commit a felony, or you probably getting brought in for a lawsuit or something, you're not going to be involved with the courts.
Hopefully not. Yeah.
Hopefully not.
We don't want to see anyone.
But,
Juries. We'll have juries.
if you're in a
Other than a
jury.
jury, yeah.
but you will get involved with the county court, if you have to probate a will, right?
That's what I'm in now, right now, probate and family court.
Yeah, and that's what they handle.
The divorces,
Divorces.
custody, guardianships,
Yeah.
and then your estate.
Yeah,
All
and a lot of people don't realize that. They probably don't think they realize it's a county court.
Yeah. We're in the big courthouse in Worcester,
Right,
the family and probate court, and right now there's 6 countywide elected positions. So the district attorney, Joe Early,
yes,
we have the sheriff, Lou Evangelitis,
yeah,
we have Jen Casey, the governor's counsel.
yeah,
Then Stephanie Fatman is the registrar of probate.
Right.
That's what she is. And then I'm running for the clerk of courts,
Yeah.
and then we have 2 people running for registrar of deeds,
right,
and Kevin Curls and Kate Campanelli. And then there's housing court, that's a clerk that's appointed by the governor. We have juvenile court, that's appointed by the governor. We have district court, that's appointed by the governor. Why there's a split, I don't know. I think a lot of the positions we're elected for are old, like parliamentary, actually English back in the British times.
Yes.
And they came over, because probate, I know, that's the oldest elected position in the country. So it's pretty interesting, actually.
well, important position because you're distributing people's properties
Mm-hmm.
after death.
Yeah, that's for probate and family court. What I am running for is Superior Court.
Right,
Okay, so in probate and family court, I've been there for the last 3 years as a head administrative assistant. And when we went there, and the main reason why I'm running is these positions have always gone unopposed. I don't want to put down anything, but sort of like the Old Boy Network has just been like, okay, it's your turn, then it's your turn, then it's your turn. No one's opposed the
yeah,
position.
and not based on any kind of qualifications or what they're going to
Right.
do, just the fact, hey, here's a good job.
Yep, and it's your turn. You can have it for so many years, and somebody else can. So a Republican has not run for the seat in over 50 years,
Wow.
and never a female.
And being an elected position,
Mm-hmm.
they have no boss other than the people.
Right. You are only accountable to the voters
Yeah,
of
so
the
you
county.
don't have anybody, hey, what time, you were late for work
Yeah.
today, or you didn't show up for work.
Yeah.
They do what they want.
Right, so that's what I want to bring, that kind of change. And I want to have people accountable, and I want it to be professional, and I want people to be trained and have technology brought in. We're only 50 miles from Boston, but it seems like we're 50 years behind in the
Right.
technology. We haven't been updating
Well, you know,
the
for
way we
years,
can.
we talked about the probate. For years, that was the same thing. Was it always some guy in there who was
Yeah.
one of the old boy networks, Abrams, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Thought he wouldn't get beat,
Right.
but Stephanie did beat him.
Yeah.
But until she went in there weren't any changes being done. He
Right.
used to say there were, but there never was.
I know.
There was backlogs and,
Yep, there was definitely backlog. So when we started there, we've had the staff trained. We had, I was doing the payroll. Well, I didn't do the payroll. Somebody else did the payroll at first. And the woman was basing the payroll on a 1998 memo. So she was doing everything manually, and it was like spreadsheet after spreadsheet. People would have these little notices saying they wanted to request a day off, and they'd have to put it in the little box, and she would check it off. So, and I went into Boston, I got trained, and it was all automated. Everything had been automated since 2012, and I'm like, is there any need for any paper? And they're like, no. because she kept saying the auditors, we have to have this for the auditors. They go, no, the auditors audit it all the time now, because it's electronic.
They
and
can
do
audit
that.
it online.
So a woman that was doing this and making over $100,000, spending 25 hours or so a week on it, I took over and I do it in an hour a week.
$100,000.
Yes. So
Oh.
that's what you can do when you have new management in it. You can, so we didn't eliminate her position, but we reallocated her into another one so that we could be efficient in another area.
Right.
And now payroll is an hour's worth of work a week, and it's
And,
so
and
different.
accurate and right on
Yes,
target.
exactly. It's accurate. That's key too.
Yeah.
And the audit, we have been audited and we did everything correctly. So I can assure you it was done right.
But being online, they can check it right from
I know.
Boston. They don't have to come out to Worcester
Yeah.
to check it.
So there's a lot of things you can do that. We had we had 2 full-time adoption clerks for 100 adoptions a year. And again, we did some training, we had Boston come in and train, and now we have 1 part-time person doing
I was
adoption.
gonna say, 100 adoptions a year, how much work is there?
Exactly. You have to be careful, you have to do things right, but now 1 person, part-time, does all the adoptions. Those are the things you can bring in when you have new management, when you have somebody who's current on the technology and who's paying attention to what the staff is doing. And I want to work with the staff in Superior Court, and I want to help them to be as efficient and work to capacity as much as I can.
You know, I've been in politics long enough to remember when Arthur Chase was leading the charge to do away with county government. Because all it was a bastion of payroll for people that didn't want to work too hard.
Right.
And we did that in Worcester County, one of the first.
Yes. And and then Lou has Lou Evangelitis, the sheriff, has taken the sheriff's position, modernized it, professionalized it,
Yeah.
and doing so much good for the community. He's out there with his face-to-face, he's got the prisoners doing the jobs, he's got the dog training and the caretaking. He's brought it to a new level because he's a professional treating the countywide position as a business.
Yes, and not a place to place
Right.
people you owe favors to.
Yeah, and not just having people sit back and spending the
Right.
taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
I don't
mean,
want to do that.
county government, we had a lot of people, especially the county commissioners, that got paid, that really didn't do a heck of a lot. And times have changed. You don't need county government like you used to. I mean, county government was set up in the days when you didn't have the communications or the ability to travel.
Right.
In fact, somebody once told me, a gentleman from town, he's deceased now, he says, they started county government based on how far a horse could ride in one day from the capital.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting, huh?
Or to the end,
Yeah.
to the borders.
So Suffolk is obviously Boston, so then
Right.
they could make it out to Middlesex. And
Right.
then Middlesex could make it out to Worcester out
Yeah.
to Hampden. Oh, that's pretty interesting.
And that's how they set up the boundaries.
That's very interesting. It's amazing what
I know.
we just accept
Yeah.
and without knowing where and why it came from.
Yeah, and county goes back to the old English style.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
But it's not necessary anymore.
No, but don't get rid of it yet.
Well, no, I mean, not necessary to be
Yeah.
elected positions
No.
and a bureaucracy that it was.
I know.
We streamlined it, now
Yeah.
the state takes over the cost.
Right.
It used to be, how the fun part of it was by dog license sales.
Oh yeah, for the county, all the fees.
All the dog
Yeah,
license
you're
fees
right.
in the towns would go to the county
Okay. Wow.
to fund the county government. And you don't need that.
No, you don't need
And
that.
we get things done now, and even then, the way things are broken down, the counties didn't really represent themselves well, because was such a breakup, it was such a difference between northern Worcester and southern Worcester, that they really didn't belong in the same county.
I know, it's been the 60 cities and towns in this county.
Yep.
So even just campaigning, I've been down in Milford Parade. On the 4th of July, over that week, we did 4 parades. So we did a Milford parade, we did a Fitchburg parade, we did a Rutland parade, and an East Brookfield parade. I mean, we were literally crisscrossing it. And then we did all the firework ceremonies beforehand.
Yep.
So we were in Auburn, we were in Worcester, we were in Uxbridge, we were in Millbury, and then Fitchburg and Rutland. So it was like, it's been I put a lot of miles on the car, going back
Oh, I
and
can
forth to everything,
imagine.
yeah. But it's good, I want to get out to the
Yep.
people, because they're not gonna they don't understand the position, it's not a familiar position,
Well,
and
that's the thing, I bet a lot of people didn't realize that there's
No.
an elected position there.
especially since there has been no opponent. So it's
Right.
been on the ballot, but there was no one to choose
Right.
before, so it's 250,000 people vote in that election. Over 100,000 would just blanket. They wouldn't even put anything.
Well, no, that they do, people go down and they say, well, it's only one name there,
Yeah,
heck with it.
I'm not gonna do it. So
Yeah.
this year, they get choices, and they get choices in all the countywide positions, which I
know.
think is really good it's good for democracy.
Well, you see, there's a real rejuvenation of the Republican Party in Central Mass.
Yes.
I think Central Mass is leading the charge.
Mm-hmm. What do we have? We currently have 12 out of 18 state reps as Republican.
I know.
And do we have 2 senators? We have Ryan Fatman and we have Senator Dean Tran.
Yes, I think,
Yeah.
two.
So, but there's a challenge for a couple of them
Yeah.
going on right now, so we might gain another one. And then when I'm successful and then the Registry of Deeds is successful, we will have, of the 6 countywide seats, 5 of them will be Republican.
Wow.
That will be historical in the state of Massachusetts.
Yes.
Because
Well,
that hasn't
we
happened.
know the registry is gonna be Republican.
Yep.
Because that's the only one's running.
And Jen Casey, I'm assuming, is gonna get reelected.
I would think so. I mean, Jen's done a great job.
And she's everywhere. She's been a great mentor, too. She's
Yeah.
she's a very good campaigner. She has a good system out there.
She's a very important factor on that council because she's
I know.
helped a
She's the
lot.
only Republican, right? She's been the only Republican? Or there might be another one right now, but she
Right
was.
now, but at one point, she was the highest Republican official in the state.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Before Karen Polito became lieutenant governor.
Yeah.
I know. And she's
Well,
working.
before Charlie Baker got elected.
Yeah.
When we didn't have the governorship, she was the highest
Oh, she
elected,
was. Oh, you're right.
Republican in
And
the state.
again, she's done wonders with that position. A
Yes,
position that no one really knew about, no one paid attention to, and because Jen's been out there educating people, promoting it, letting people know how important it is, that she is, part of nominating judges and how important judges are to our whole Commonwealth. She's done amazing things.
I interviewed a guy, I'm not gonna give his name, he's actually went to jail for Winnegawan. He was in the, he worked for the, in the auditor's office
Oh,
for Mr. Danucci.
okay.
But anyway, he was running for the governor's council. This is way back. This had to be in the 90s because we were in our first studio. And I was talking to him about it, and I says, well, do you know how the governor's council came about? He goes, no, I don't know anything about that. He says, I'm just going, this is a good job.
Oh, wow.
It's a good job. It pays well, and I don't have to work too hard.
Wow.
Told me that off the air.
Wow.
Yeah. And I could see that's why they were running. In fact, he got beat by John Levy.
Oh, wow.
That's how far back that was.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm campaigning hard, but I'm campaigning hard so that I can get in and do a good job.
Right.
I'm as excited to make the changes that I think could be made and implementing the new strategies. So I'm just as excited about that part
Well,
as
you
they
have
are
some relation
campaigning.
to it already, right?
Right, yeah, because it's all trial court is the umbrella we're all under. So I already know how to use the software. I already know the system. I already know how cases are filed. I already know different positions. I know we have docketers, and I know the judges, and I know the lobby. So I already know all the systems in place. So I'll just be moving from one court to the next
Now,
court.
do you work, you supervise the clerks in the district
In-
courts?
No. So district court would be separate from probate and from superior
Okay,
court.
so it's not,
Yeah.
no relationship
No.
whatsoever, because those are all appointed.
Right,
to the
those are all
governor's
appointed, right.
council.
And the DA, so the DA would, determines which cases end up in district, which ones end up in Superior. I mean, Superior has the most horrible crimes, but there's
Right.
some the DA can decide to have a case heard in district or Superior Court.
Now,
So-
he's being challenged, isn't he?
Yeah, by
Yeah.
an independent, right, so.
Yeah, by independent.
I worked for the DA before I did probate and family court, so I think Joe Early's done a good job. He's modernized that office and
Right.
made it professional, and he's done well by the county too. So I'm hopeful that he's working hard,
Yeah,
and I think he will be reelected also.
yeah, well, I don't know, I know somebody's running against him, I don't even know what his name is.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of his opponent either. I don't know why these guys run. It's a lot of work to run, like, just to get the signatures, you need 1,000 certified signatures throughout the county. Just to get that, I don't understand if you do
Yeah, you
that.
can't get them in Charlton.
No, you have to fan out,
Yes.
and then once you get, it's getting the signatures is one thing, and we had tough weather in March and April.
Oh, God.
It was hard.
It was
You
a tough
could-
spring.
You couldn't sit out in the supermarket and
You're
get
right.
signatures. But not only did you have to get the signatures, then you had to go and bring them to each town hall,
Yes.
each town clerk, get them certified, and then collect them and then
Then
bring them to
collect 'em.
Secretary of State.
Yeah, then send them into the Secretary of
That's a
State.
lot of work.
Yes.
So the people that do that and then don't campaign hard, I don't understand, why did you go through all that work if you're not gonna give it 110% out campaigning?
Well, why campaign? We figure you're gonna get elected anyway.
Yeah, I don't know how anyone's.
It's just going through the numbers.
Yeah, our times have changed. I mean, if you look at the numbers, it's,
You
the
know,
county is
I
turning.
spent 15 years on a planning board prior to my now being on a planning board. And I never had an opponent. First time I ran, I had an opponent, and that was it. After that, I
Uh-huh.
never had an opponent. So 15 years, that was five terms,
Mhm.
5 3-year terms. All I had to do was get 50 signatures,
Right,
and I didn't have to send them in. I just get them certified by the town clerk, and
yeah,
that was
because
the
it's
end of
just
it.
one town, yeah.
Right, because it's within the town. But I didn't campaign. Why bother? You know,
Yeah,
and that was probably the case with your opponent had.
but now they do have opponents, so I
Yeah.
don't know why. Even Congressman McGovern, I've seen him out on parades, and he's been at the fireworks. He understands you have to be out there.
A lot of times, especially on the county level, and I think that happened with Steve Abrams.
Mhm.
He didn't think she was gonna pull it off.
No.
And he didn't campaign very hard, and he said, well, Worcester will carry me.
Yeah, the
But-
city's not enough anymore.
No, not if you can if you can spark some interest in the towns,
Right,
and that's the key.
yeah.
That could defeat Jim McGovern.
If, right, because he's got two, right, there's a primary in that race. You had Tracy the other day, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple weeks back.
Yeah, how about her other opponent? Do you have him on the show yet, Kevin?
No,
No? Oh,
no,
you should-
I haven't got a hold of him. I never see him.
Oh, I'll have to tell him to call you, come your way.
Yeah, I mean, I have anybody on, but
Yeah.
it's hard to contact some of them.
Mm.
I haven't
That is
really
good.
contact them, but, yeah, I like to have everybody, I wanna give people a chance to see it, and we're reaching out to more than Northbridge, because we are on the net.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good.
We're
Oh,
live
yeah,
on the
yeah,
net.
yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, we're live on the net, and when we rebroadcast, we're on the net.
Okay.
Or you can go to our website anytime, 24 hours a day, we're on demand. So
See,
you can,
you've kept up with technology.
oh, yeah, I got a great crew back there.
Yeah,
They
you-
We're
really-
also live on YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah,
YouTube too.
we're live on YouTube as well, so it's easy to pick us up.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, I have people from Florida that watch,
Really?
yeah,
Oh, wow.
I used to work with.
Wow.
I don't know if they'll watch this show because it may not be of interest, but
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of different types of shows. But yeah, so, and it's an advantage to politicians to come in, because we're out there, you can reference us,
Mm-hmm.
you can, we call it, tag us or whatever.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they can go and watch it.
Yeah.
They want,
Good.
people want to know what you're about.
Yeah, you've been very good to the whole election season, I think I've
Yeah.
seen.
Well, we have a lot of people on. Well,
Yeah.
Talk to Jen, she says, you gotta go on Harry's show.
Yeah, you do. You don't hit Charlton, that's where I live, Charlton. I mean,
Yeah,
we-
but we
I
can.
can do it online, right,
Yeah.
they can send it on, or I can send a link to the
Yeah.
Charlton people online, that's what I will do.
We also offer people copies of the show if they wanna drop them at any station.
Oh, okay, oh, so I could have it played in Charlton,
Yeah,
oh, that's good to know.
see, that's it. Any town that all you gotta do is a resident town brings in a show,
Mm-hmm,
the local access will play it.
okay, good, I'll remember
And
that.
we allow for it, we're copyrighted on it, so we can say no, but we don't, we say yes, go ahead, take
Yeah.
it anywhere you want.
Okay, good,
So we make it available, and they can even take it off the net if they want.
that's good, we'll have to remember that. And in Charlton, I've lived there for 30 years, I've
Yeah.
been married for 33, raised 5 children. I did school committee there and Little League board.
Dudley Charlton
and
School Committee?
Dudley Charlton School Committee, yeah, that was me. All my kids, some of them went there, some of them went to the St. John's or Notre Dame. With 5 kids, you gotta figure out where each one wants to
Ah.
do the best. But I did the soccer board and the Little League board, all those, PTO,
Yeah,
all those things. So I've been managing people for a long, long time.
what part of Charlton you live in? Where about?
Right off of Mugget Hill, if you're going up the hill to Bay Path, there's a little
Yes.
road, Dodge Lane.
Yeah,
So we live in an old colonial farmhouse, 1830 farmhouse.
oh, okay,
That
you're over by the cemetery,
Yeah, it's
You know
down
who's
the
buried in that cemetery?
Grizzly Adams?
Yeah,
Yes,
Grizzly
I knew
Adams.
that.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
You're a big celebrity.
Yeah. The Dodgers owned our house back in the day. Our house was in the 1700s. Our house was given to Dodge, and they were criminals over in England. And
Yes.
back in the day, they'd send the criminals over to America,
Oh, yeah.
and they gave him 900 acres up and down Mugget Hill. He had all that. And so he built our house was built in 1830, Rufus Dodge, and he was actually the mayor of Worcester, and this was his summer home, became his
Oh.
summer home. And at that time, he had 5 children, 4 boys and 1 girl. And now 100 years later, we raised 5 children, 4 boys and 1 girl in the same house.
Wow.
Isn't that weird? And that 900 acres, so that cemetery, they were all buried in that cemetery.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that 900 acres is now down to 6 acres. That's what we own, 6.
I wouldn't doubt that they were the Dodge brothers were direct descendants of theirs,
Probably.
who formed the Dodge Motors,
Yeah.
Dodge car,
Good point. Could be.
which later became part of the Chrysler Corporation. I wouldn't doubt they were.
Yeah.
It's an old Yankee name,
Yeah, it is. So.
but Charlton's a long-established town. And yeah, I knew Ted over at the liquor store out
Ted's
there.
Package, Ted Morazkowski, he's a good friend.
I
Yeah.
don't want to say his last name because I always mess it up.
Oh, he's not Irish. He's Polish. Right?
Yeah, nice guy.
Oh, he's a great guy, and they're
Yeah.
doing great. They built the new store. Have you seen the new store?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, isn't that
Oh,
nice?
beautiful store.
Yeah, it is a nice store.
I was calling on when he first bought the original liquor store from the 2 guys from Worcester, 2 Jewish guys
Oh.
that owned it. And so I know Ted from day one.
Oh wow.
I haven't seen him in a number of years now.
Yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah.
He's still in the store
Charlton
every
has
day.
come a long way. It's really, you've grown quite a bit.
When we moved there in 1985, there were like less than 10,000 people. There were like 7 or 8,000, I think. But there were 11 working farms.
Yes.
Now those 11 farms have become developments, and they got all
Yeah.
these nice big homes.
Yeah, your biggest farm out there on the hill,
Dresser
Dresser
Hill.
Dresser
Yeah.
Hill.
Yep.
Yeah, huge farm.
Yeah.
I remember that with tons
Used to
of
be all cows. Now it's I think it's solar panels now.
Yeah. They still
Still
got
have the ice cream
they still
store.
they got the ice cream
Yeah.
stand, but that's about it.
Yeah, and the ice cream used to be made there,
Yeah.
with the cows, but it's not made there anymore.
I know. I mean, I saw that farm disappear. This is happening everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
family farms are disappearing in Massachusetts.
They are. It's
But-
a lot of work, and then
Yeah,
younger
it's-
generations don't want to do
Right.
that work.
Yeah. The reason we still got a farm and we still have a dairy farm in town here to Zero Eggs is because the next generation is willing to do it and they're keeping it up.
Yeah.
But that's what you're finding. So, God, I don't want to work 7
know.
days a week
I know, and barely
and
get
12,
scared-
15-hour days.
and barely just get by.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a tough life.
Yeah. And you can get a lot of money for the land because now they put the housing developments in.
Yeah.
Or the
That's a-
solar
Or
farm.
the solar farm or whatever they can.
Right.
I mean, have a solar farm and you get the money, the rental and then the electricity from it.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier than milking a cow every day.
Yeah. Steady income for the next 20 years.
It is.
But you've had a lot of housing development out there.
Yeah, we do. A lot of people.
Must be putting a strain on the school system.
It was for a while. I think it's leveled off now. But they do talk about, at times they talk about separating the school system, Dudley and Charlton.
Yes.
We used to be the little guys, and
Right.
Dudley now it's flipped, that we're the big guys, and Dudley's.
Really? You got more
We have more than,
students
yeah,
than
than
Dudley?
Dudley, yeah.
Wow.
So then we say, why should we have to drive all the way over there? Because
Yeah, but you got the elementary school.
yeah, the high school is in Dudley, yeah.
Right,
So
Shepherd Hill.
yeah, so the kids on Stony Brook, I don't know, that's like on the Spencer line. It
Yes.
takes them a good 40 minutes to get to
That
the
is a long
school.
ride.
That's a long ride at 6 in the morning.
But you also have Bay Path.
Right, Bay Pass, and
That's grown.
that is grown. Vocational schools in general are amazing
Yes.
now, huh? So when we were kids, just wood shop and electrical.
It's become, we're getting into a, we're
I know,
probably getting away
whole
from
thing.
But I gotta talk, I'm reading a book, What Schools Could Be. And it was recommended to me. I'm on my Northbridge Superintendent's reading club for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I'm on the last chapter now.
Okay.
And it points out that we gotta change the way schools teach. That we gotta make them teach more to how to solve problems rather than this repetition of learning. you know, when you and I went to school, it was memorization.
Right,
And we hated it.
right.
And you say, why do I have to know what year the Civil War was? I should know there was a Civil War, but is it necessary to know the exact dates, the date it started and the date it ended? But that's what we were doing. We were taught history. We had to memorize all the multiplication tables and
Right.
how to add. And today, they're saying, what this book is saying is that necessary? Because every kid's got a cell phone
I
that'll
know.
do that for
You
them.
look it up in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You've got it.
So you
yeah.
really need that anymore.
Right. They need problem solving.
Right.
How about working with each other or in a team or project oriented?
Yes.
That's what they're not.
And it makes school more interesting, and it gives retainership.
Yeah.
Kids will stay in the school.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the vocational schools do.
Yeah, they do that.
And that's why they're so popular.
I know. Back in the day, our day, vocational schools where you put the kid that couldn't keep up or couldn't do. Now you have to really qualify to get into a vocational school.
Isn't it amazing?
They get to be selective.
We
and
we
have
get,
the
we get
top
that
of the
complaints about Valley Tech, but
Yeah.
it's happening in all vocational
Right.
schools. And they have a large amount of kids that go on to colleges.
Oh yeah, they do now. Yep.
But see, here again, the colleges were ahead of us on this because the colleges didn't teach memorization.
Right.
They taught problem solving.
Mm-hmm.
You were supposed to notice stuff when you got there.
Yeah.
But here again, where they're wrong too is your requirement shouldn't be if you can get a high mark on an SAT, because all it says is you were good at memorizing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was horrible
Oh, at memorizing.
at memorizing. I can read a book and I'll remember points of it, general idea of it, but I can't remember exact things.
Yeah.
But some people have retention like you read about.
Mhm.
Well, those people go on, but I can solve problems.
Right. That's what you need to do. I
Yeah.
mean, I've heard of your career. You've done really well solving
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah, and so the thing is that's what colleges should start looking at. People that are qualified now. You have to learn to read,
Right.
and I think that we need to make sure kids can read, not let them get through school without reading. But other than that, I think everything else could fall into place.
Yeah.
You could do math, but do it in a way that they have to solve a problem.
Right. Make it like almost like word problems.
Yeah.
Because then they can relate to it. Why am
Let
I
them
trying
work
to
on
solve
community
this?
problems.
Yeah. That's what. Yeah. That is a good one.
Yeah.
That's why at the vocational schools, like when they're doing architecture or even plumbing, it's all numbers. So they're doing math because they have to know how to fit something or
Yeah.
what size it has to be. So they're doing math in the
Well, you show
problem
them that's where
solving.
it's used.
And then they're hands-on and they're
Right.
moving. I like the community idea. That maybe you should start running the schools here. We'll get you on the I don't know the
I'm gonna be-
state school,
Well,
Department of Education.
Our superintendent came up with these career academies
Oh,
classes, and I'm a big fan of it. Especially she has one for broadcasting, and I'm a big fan of broadcasting.
uh-huh.
I always wanted to go into it, but with no money in it.
Mm.
Believe me, if you don't, unless you land a big job,
You weren't going to be Walter Cronkite or anything.
you're not
yeah.
gonna. No, that's hard to do. There's only a few of those,
Yeah.
and for the most part, if you go into radio, you'd be ready to move a lot.
Oh yeah, because
You know.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to keep changing
Mhm.
where you're working to move up or to even make money.
Yeah.
But that's besides the that's about me. So she's got these career academies that do it. They look at things like that, computers and problem solving and things. And I think, and the kids love it.
Yeah.
They fill right up.
That's why we have to kind of get off the Common Core and the standardized testing.
Yes.
We need to get it more
Get rid of. We don't need the MCATs. I thought it was a great idea when it came in, but the more research I do on it, the more I read about it, get away from it.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
You know, look at you. We'll go back to your, what you want to do. Quick, of course. I mean, you don't need to go to law school.
No. To
But-
run an office.
No. But you do need to know how to do problem solving
Yep.
and how to handle situations
Right.
and where to go to reference.
Right. So you need to be able to see what they're doing now, how it's done, why it's done, and then figure out how it could be improved.
Right.
And that's exactly what we want to do with the schools. Is what we want to do with the court. Make
have
it
to
more efficient.
Think outside of the box.
Yes, I know.
We can't say, well, this is the way we've done it for 50 years.
Right.
Well, maybe you were doing it wrong for 50
I
years.
know. And you know what? I think even if I was in the position for 20, 30 years, I wouldn't see things as clearly as a new pair of eyes.
Right.
It's good to have change. It's any business has to have certain minimum requirements, or they've gotta have the bottom line. The problem is in the state or county government, you don't have that force to make you have it more profitable.
Right.
But the best way to do that is to have someone new come in and have it with a new pair of eyes to see, oh, this could be done better.
You know who's done that for years? The military.
Yeah.
You have commanding officers changing all the time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you've got the same division, but a different commander comes in, same battalion, but a different commander, same company, but a different, and every time when someone new comes in, they change things.
Yeah. And that's what I hope to do. I will do.
And that's the idea. The military have been doing it for years and it's worked well for them.
Right. It is.
And that's, that's the idea, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think incumbency breeds staling.
Yeah. Complacency.
Complacency becomes stale.
I was door knocking the other day, and not too many people know about Superior Court. They just don't know about it. And one man, I started talking to him about how I wanted to upgrade it and have a technology. He goes, I'm so happy you're saying that. I had jury duty. He goes, and I was texting my wife, and only jurors can bring in their phones. You can't even bring your phones into, like a regular person can't bring their phone into the courtroom. He goes, I was texting my wife, I can't believe how backwards this is. We didn't get anything, nothing's online, nothing's this. We get little numbers, a little piece of paper to tell us our number for the day. He goes, I can't believe that that's how it's run. And I'm like, I mean, easily I could be texting them. Like, you know,
Right.
not me personally, but the system could have a system in place and then, okay, you're juror number 70, you can go home, or you have to go to courtroom 12, or whatever it
The
is.
feds do a better job.
Yeah, they do.
You know, I got jury duty a number of times. And, always had to go and sit there in the room.
And spend your morning or
Yeah,
day.
almost sometimes the whole day.
Yeah.
And never get a trial.
I know, and not know what's going on. No one's updating you
Right.
on where you're
But I
at with
got
the
federal
system.
jury duty,
Mm-hmm.
and I could call a number, and they would tell me, okay, we're gonna use you, or we're not gonna use you.
That's the thing.
And
I don't have to
I never showed up because they never used
Right.
me.
I don't need to invent anything.
Right,
The system's already out there. Just somebody has to implement them.
right.
That's what I'm gonna do.
And boy, I'll tell you, I'm glad I'm 70 years old, because I don't have to do jury duty anymore,
Oh,
do
once
I?
you're 70, right? Is that the age?
Yeah, I think
70?
it is.
Okay, all right. I won't be calling you in then.
No, I had to go to Fitchburg, I did Worcester, I did
Oh, wow.
Fitchburg, because they don't get enough people in Fitchburg.
Oh, wow.
So I was sent up there, my wife was sent up there too, I had to bring her up, and
Wow, that's
she
a
ended up
break.
without a trial too.
Oh, she did? Did she
Yeah.
have to spend all day or half
No,
the day?
she was down at it was only a couple hours, they let her
Okay.
go.
Oh, that was good.
I think Fitchburg's a little quicker at it.
Yeah,
They don't
because
have any-
they only have 1 or 2 trials going
Yeah.
on, so they know what's going on.
where Worcester takes a little longer.
It does take longer.
And I remember sitting in the old courthouse, oh my God, and the place wasn't even air conditioned.
Yeah, I know. That place, we do have a beautiful building now, we must
Yes.
admit.
Which,
Yeah.
well, what's gonna happen with the old courthouse?
They keep going back and forth on it, right?
I know, you haven't heard anything, have you?
Supposedly it was gonna become some apartment or condo type thing and retail space on the bottom. And they were gonna be able to gut it, but had to keep the front, I think,
Well,
historically.
the front is beautiful, it's a beautiful building, it's
Mhm.
old, and even inside, it's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
The addition in the 50s,
Oh, yeah, that was,
that's a disaster.
that was
That's,
like, you know, like in the old days, they had the schools with the modular, like, open classroom kind of
Yes.
thing. It's kind of like, yeah, it was
Yeah.
like, it just
It's
snapped
gotta-
together.
that's gotta
It's like,
go.
yeah, that has to go. That and the Voc, you know, the old Voc school. And
Yes.
we were actually using that for some of the juvenile court and stuff was over there. But they've made beautiful condos out of that and lofts and stuff. And then
Oh,
there's,
they did? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really nice over
Oh.
there. And then there's the auditorium that's across the street, and then the
Yeah.
courthouse. So it'd be nice if they developed that end of Main
yeah, no,
Street.
the auditorium is sitting there vacant too.
Mhm.
And that's another nice building.
I know, exactly. So
I remember
hope-
going to some great rock and roll shows in that place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I saw like a play, Jesus Christ Superstar or something in there.
Yeah.
But that kind of thing.
It was-
But though that whole triangle should be developed in
Yes.
Worcester, in that end of Main Street, because the other end's being, a lot's happening at the other end of Main, you know, where the city hall is and all behind there, where the Galleria used to be, the mall used to be. There's
Yes.
lots of new buildings and restaurants and things going
That's
on.
something else. I mean, I remember as a kid, they were talking about the Galleria
Mm-hmm.
in this beautiful place. Then I remember, I was a teenager at the time. I was old enough that I bought a guitar over on Front Street. It was
Okay.
that was all pawn shops.
Oh, okay.
And then they built the Galleria and everything disappeared, of course.
Yeah.
And was the mechanics building
Yeah.
at one point, that bank's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it all changed, and that was beautiful Galleria, and it's the
And then
showcase
no one
of
came. I
the
know.
of Central Mass and everything else. And nobody shopped there,
I
because,
know.
because it cost so much to park in the garage, and then you had that long walk to get in there, and people didn't wanna do
No,
it,
people
and
didn't.
it got dangerous.
Yep, it did get dangerous. And then Arbor Mall was right there, and then when Solomon
Yeah.
Plum went in,
Yeah.
that was like the end of it.
Yep.
And now with Blackstone,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have
So,
survived long. But they're really developing it down. It looks really nice down there. My husband and I will go. He works across the street from Mechanics Hall in an accounting firm,
Oh,
and so
okay.
him and I will go to lunch when
Yeah.
we're working, and always walk around. And it's built up so much in
Yes.
the last just in the last 2 years or so.
Yeah, I mean, they gotta do something to bring things back to
Yeah.
downtown.
Having that pharmacy school, the
That-
pharmacy
yeah, that's
school's
a-
been great. You see the kids in the white coats walking back and forth.
Yeah.
The old Marriott is classrooms and dorms, and then they
Yeah.
have more classrooms down in the off of Front Street and stuff. So they're going back and forth, and I think they add a lot to the city. It's been good.
Yeah, you can thank Mr. Monahan for that.
Yeah,
He became the head of it, and he's
Mhm.
really done a great job.
yeah,
He's
It
to
is.
own the Monahan pharmacies
uh-huh,
throughout the city.
yeah. And it's
And-
been good for.
Yeah, he's really done a great job with
Yeah.
that.
And then some Becker classes are now, or dorms and stuff are
Yeah,
being
well,
built
Becker's
over there.
moving to downtown.
Yeah, so they've been
They
building up.
moved into, WCRN used to be over there
Oh, yeah,
on,
you're right.
on Portland Street,
Yeah,
where the
okay.
library is, right
yeah,
across.
I remember that, yeah,
Yeah, well, we moved out to Westboro,
okay.
and, because Becker took it over.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't been to the new one for CRN, but
Oh.
I know that whole strip has become Becker.
You gotta call Peter and get on his show.
I know. He said I could. I just have to call him. He said I could.
Yeah, yeah.
I gotta hit everybody's show. So
His
anybody else have a
show's pretty
show?
popular on Sunday mornings.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good guy too, huh?
Oh,
And he's
Peter's
done
a
a
super
lot.
guy, yes.
He's been around.
Really nice guy.
Yeah.
I wish he was still a congressman,
Mm.
but, yeah, it is what it is.
Everyone knows the game. You gotta keep up with it. You know what I mean? You gotta work
Yep.
hard all the time. Your job is always reliant on the
Oh,
on the
yeah.
voters, so.
And Robbie ran for office at one point, but then his wife, but
Mhm.
she didn't make it, so
Mm.
neither one of them are in politics anymore, as
No.
far as I know.
Peter helps out the sheriff. He
Yeah,
does a
he
lot with
helps
the sheriff.
out, but I
Yeah,
mean,
he's
he's not,
not politicking.
no, he's
no.
not active in politics.
Because I see him on a lot of the health fairs that the sheriff does. Peter's.
Oh, they're good friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, Worcester's gotta come back to it's gotta be a better city. I mean, we need some nice restaurants. We do have some nice restaurants, we
Mhm.
need more.
We need more foot
Yeah.
like people walking
Well,
around.
they tried to do the housing.
Yeah.
With the Bancroft,
Yeah.
beautiful job, but I think their problem is here again, you see this in liberal-run cities, but the homeless hanging out on the common, and they use it as an open bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, come on.
That's what they say. San Francisco's having major problems.
Oh,
right?
my God, San Francisco's gone way downhill.
That's really
Boston's
sad.
having the problem.
Yeah. You
And
got it.
because they don't, and you know, look at, I feel sorry for these people, but there's a reason behind some of it, is some of these people could straighten out, but they don't want to.
Mm-hmm. I know. It's kind of sad. Huh?
Yes,
It is
and
sad.
maybe it takes tougher means, but you're gonna have to clean that common up.
And we have a lot of resources. There's Salvation Army, there's Straight Ahead Ministries. In Worcester, there's a lot of agencies that do take
Oh,
in the homeless. But
Tremendous amount.
there's St. John's Kitchen, you know,
Yeah.
like they're there. So you just have to get the people
They
to
don't
the
want
service,
to,
to the services. I know. Well, then you're gonna have to.
because they want the freedom of
Find
doing what they
somewhere.
do with the drugs and
Mm,
whatever, whatever things they do out there, I don't
Yeah.
know, but they don't want, they want the freedom of being able to be what they are.
I know. And then that ends up in our courthouse.
Yes.
You know, the opioid. Obviously, the opioid is a
Yes.
major problem in the county and in the Commonwealth and in the nation, and that has a direct impact on what's happening at the courthouse or even the county jail. A lot of those prisoners in the county jail have opiate issues or drug issues in general. I know the DA's been the DA. I'm on that task force also with the DA and with the sheriff, trying to come up with solutions. But it's a complicated issue.
Well, the thing is that we found this is sampling by the drug dealers. They get people hooked.
I know.
And we gotta wake up to this factor.
I know. We created our own problem.
And I don't know what's gonna, you know, the marijuana thing,
Oh my gosh.
I don't, I'm working with the planning, I work, of course, at the planning board, we have to work on a bylaw for the town. You know, they say it's not a gateway drug in some cases, but I can't believe that. I mean, it's a drug.
It's a drug.
And don't compare it to alcohol. I can go out to dinner and have a beer or a glass of wine. I don't get drunk.
Right.
You don't smoke a joint to relax. Smoke a joint to get high.
Yeah, you're right. That's
Yeah.
a good point. That's a very big, distinct difference. You're
Yeah.
right.
You smoke a cigarette to relax
Yeah.
because it doesn't make you high. But a joint, that's the only purpose of it. The purpose is to get high.
In Charlton, we have a distribution center opening up,
Yes.
and we have a whole 1,000,000 square foot grow farm, and going through our planning board right now, actually.
I know.
So I don't know what's going to happen with it.
You get a lot now. You even got the goat farm out there, right?
Yeah, we do that with a go.
Which I wanted to get a bylaw for this in North, but you have to have a special bylaw for that.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. And that's for biomedical research.
Oh, okay.
That's what the goats are for.
Oh, okay.
And, because they have to have some kind of purity, and I mean, it's gotta be on a special zone and all this other stuff, but,
Well, that's what, in the grow farm, the marijuana farm, that's, the zoning is a big issue too, because it was zoned
for
for,
medical.
yeah,
Yes, we have a question on that, because it started out as medical zoning,
yeah.
and the state is trying to make up their mind, the commission now is that the medical zoning allowed to go with the recreational. But now you can't, if you get a license for recreational, you can't sell any because they haven't got any labs to certify the quality of the product yet.
Oh, yeah.
So they're issuing licenses. I think Uxbridge has got 3 applicants in.
Wow.
But the thing is, part of the process is they have to be laboratory certified. The marijuana has to be laboratory certified, and they don't have a laboratory to certify yet.
Wow.
So-
Yeah, it's a complicated issue.
It is a complicated situation.
Like you said earlier, it's kind of, I don't want to be, I'm glad I'm not raising children now or starting
I
now,
know.
because it's a complicated world.
And the thing is, I says, everybody thinks it's gonna be a big revenue source. Well, you can grow your own, why are you gonna buy it?
Right, you're allowed to, right, 12 plants or something
Yeah.
like that, yeah. I don't know. It's not my world, I don't know.
And they call it weed because it grows like a weed, I guess. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
yes, so right.
Yeah, so how hard is it to grow your
I
own?
don't know. But I don't know what you do with it once you grow it. Like, you must have to go through something, right?
Well, you gotta imagine you're gonna dry it out because
Yeah.
it wouldn't burn.
Right. I don't want to know.
I know. Well, I'm not interested.
Yeah, but it does make the court system a little complicated nowadays.
It is gonna make, well,
Yeah.
it's taken some burden off the police and off the court system because now it's legal to have.
Yeah,
Whereas
but now we just get into another bracket of what's, the higher end drugs and stuff, so I don't know.
Well, if you go back to the 19th century, all the drugs were legal.
Right,
In fact, Coca-Cola had cocaine.
in it.
Yeah. That's what, because they say the druggist who invented it said this was a way of relaxing. Yeah, it did. Yeah, Coke does
Yeah.
relax you.
How did people function?
I know. And, people like, Wyatt Earp's wife was addicted to drugs, and she got addicted from being sick.
Oh,
And because heroin was a drug that was available over the counter,
oh my gosh.
and heroin was given to babies to stop coughing.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I mean, it wasn't until the early 20th century that they started passing laws against this stuff.
Well, I think that's where we're at with the marijuana now. We gotta pass
Yeah.
the laws of, and it's, not all marijuana is the same. It's different levels, like alcohol is different levels
Right.
of content. The marijuana needs a rating system.
Yes. See, these are all
But
things that they have to work
It
out.
hasn't happened yet, right, exactly. We just made this law, and now we have to
And they're
figure out all
talking
the
that,
consequences.
if you talk to people from Colorado, some of them say it hasn't worked out that well. It's
Yeah.
been a big problem for
I
us
know.
in some cases.
It seems that way to me too.
So, I mean, like I said though, here again, they say, well, cigarettes are legal and so is alcohol, but neither one of them you have to consume to get high. You can consume alcohol, if you get enough of it, yeah, you're gonna get high. But that's not the purpose of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's to enjoy a drink.
Right. That's what
Enjoy
you're
the-
supposed to do it, right? Most of the population can have just that one or two drink and
Right.
be fine.
Right, and you might like the taste of beer. I like the taste of beer.
Yeah.
I like the nice mellow taste of a good hoppy,
Yeah.
hoppy taste. I
The
like
hoppy
that.
taste, yeah.
But don't tell me you like the taste of marijuana.
Or the smell or
Or
anything,
the smell, right.
And they can't, like a breathalyzer doesn't work for marijuana. So
Right.
the policeman can't pull you over and test, are you under the influence or not? Because
Yeah.
it can be in your system for weeks, you know, and it's
Yeah,
a lot
these are-
different than alcohol.
It's a big problem. Now, another question comes up, can the employer let you go if you drug test positive for marijuana now, because it's
'Cause
legal?
it's legal. But how can you have somebody working if they're under the influence of
Right.
marijuana?
Right, exactly.
It's so complicated.
Yeah, I mean, if someone comes to work drunk, you pretty well know they come to work
Mhm.
drunk, but can you tell if they come to work under the influence of marijuana?
Mm.
I mean, it gets up in the morning, they have to have a couple of hits right away.
And then what about the little kids?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what I
then,
worry about.
We hear all this stink about secondhand smoke. What about, maybe you might get a disease from secondhand smoke, but you're gonna get high from
I know.
marijuana
It
secondhand
seems
smoke.
so controversial. I mean, like we're conflict. We say no to cigarette smoking anywhere basically now.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do it at work. You're not allowed to do it in the bar rooms. You're not allowed to do it in apartments. If you're next to somebody
Right.
and you smoke, but now then we legalize marijuana at the same time. I'm like, this isn't making sense.
Yeah, do I wanna be in an apartment next to someone who's a heavy marijuana smoker?
No, because then your stuff will smell.
Yeah. And
You
you're gonna
open your
smell it in your
window,
own apartment.
Yeah, you're gonna smell it on your furniture.
And it does
your
have a
clothing.
distinct odor.
Oh, it does. Yeah, it's a complicated world.
Yeah. And so, I mean, but these are things that you're gonna handle, you're gonna have to handle if you make it as a
Yes. I
county
will.
clerk of courts.
I will. I'll make sure. I'll have efficient people working and getting those cases through. I'll decrease the backlog that they have right now. Cases go on and on and on right now that they don't finish up, like the civil ones. They go in 3 or 5 years and you're supposed to
They
have
have,
done.
do they
It's-
get continuances?
Yeah,
But isn't the judges the ones giving the continuance?
they are, but this, generally the lawyer has to come up with a good reason why. But I would encourage mediation. Let's just get these through the system. Let's get them through. 3 to 5 years, you should not be having a case stringing along that long.
Now, does the clerk have jurisdiction over whether they get a continuance or not?
The judges determine it, but I think we can implement a system where we can encourage people to get moving it on. And obviously on my end, I want everything, all the ducks in a row to make sure that it's ready to go to trial or it's ready
Right.
to get to the next step.
Yeah, I mean,
And
the lawyer can't ask for a continuance to good justifiable
Right.
reason.
And so you need a good manager to make sure that the case is ready,
Right.
that the evidence is being taken care of properly, that the courtrooms are available, that everything's docketed correctly. That's why it's important to have a good manager in that court.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, now, because you handle civil suits.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's an important factor, because if you can drag a civil suit on long enough, you can end up winning by,
Yeah,
I
by
mean, the
def-
defendant ends up losing and the
Right.
plaintiff ends up winning because they dragged it out.
right, and it ends up costing so much to both, to.
Yeah,
it's-
and if the civil suit's against a corporation
Mhm.
or insurance company, they like that, they don't mind,
Right.
it's cheaper than paying off for the lawsuit.
Right, and the defendant just gets like, strung
Yeah.
along and strung along. Yeah, it's not fair. It's not right. That's not justice. You
No.
want justice. You want swift, efficient
Well, we're
justice.
supposed to be swift
Yeah.
and efficient justice.
That's what I'm gonna push for when I get there.
Now, you don't handle any felony cases.
Yeah.
Oh,
we
you
would-
do?
Yeah, we would. We could do the murders and the rapes
Oh,
and
well,
stuff.
here again
yeah.
now, here again, if someone's being held in jail, you'd like to get a speedy
Oh, yeah,
trial,
you gotta get that through.
get it resolved.
Yeah, and make sure evidence is really key. You gotta keep the evidence, you're in the care of evidence, so DNA and
Yeah,
bloody shirts or whatever, you know what I mean, whatever the evidence is, you are responsible for that, and you have to have care with those products, and I'm
well,
gonna
we
make
got a
sure that is-
situation now because the state police lab situation
Yes.
where cases are being thrown out,
because-
convictions.
Right, because they're not being cared for properly, they're not being
Right.
taken care of properly. And again, the technology's there to take care of the DNA, make sure it's not under any, it's not being compromised at any level. And it's keeping evidence with the right case. You can't just have random pieces of evidence put in different caseloads or different boxes.
Yeah,
Sometimes
because
that's happening.
a good defense attorney will end up beating you out on that,
Yeah.
and then the case, the judge just has to throw the case out,
Right.
he has no alternative.
So it's key to have the right clerk in that office.
Yeah, this
So.
is, I don't think we realize how involved this job is. Because like you said, it's never been challenged,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody even, I'll be honest with you, as involved in politics as I am, I didn't realize that we could elect a county clerk.
Yeah, so, I'll do my
I-
best, I'll keep fighting
Yeah,
out there.
I'm glad you're coming forward. I
Oh,
think,
thanks.
I think it's great you're coming forward,
Oh,
because,
thanks.
I knew of the other county offices that were
Mhm.
elected, but I never heard of it, because I never had any calling to deal
Right.
with the county court.
Hopefully, not too many people do have to deal with
Right.
it. But if you do have to deal with it, you want it to be as efficient as possible.
Do you know about how many cases they hand up for the year?
Good question. I know they have they have 8, I don't know how the term is, but they have 4 civil going on at any one time, and they have 4
Wow.
criminal at any one time.
Whoa.
So that's
So
pretty
you're
busy all the
talking
time.
8 judges?
And they're doing the circuit, yeah, and they rotate. The
Oh.
judges, like at probate, they stay there, but at Superior, they rotate. So 3 months here, 3 months there. So if you don't
So
get a
they're
case,
handling civil and then they go to,
a criminal, or they could
criminal.
end up in a different, like go to another county.
oh,
So, because they don't want to have any fraud or anything, so they want to keep moving.
so they're not building a relationship
Yeah.
with the DA or with
Mhm.
any county officials?
So that's why you want it to run quickly too, or smooth,
Yeah.
as quickly as possible to get these cases through.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I didn't realize all this was going on. I don't think anybody realized it.
Yeah, it's a staff of 50 people, so it's a good,
Yeah, that's quite a staff.
Yeah, it's a good, several attorneys are on staff already. That's why this position I'm not a lawyer, I have my MBA.
Yeah.
This position is the management position. You have the
Right.
lawyers and you have the judges and you have the staff to
Yeah,
process
but
the
you're not
cases.
in there exercising the court.
Right. My job is to
You're
make,
managing the system.
yep, and my position is to make those cases as efficient and up to speed and right on the money, so that when it gets to the judge can go through the system, can go through their process
Right.
and not have anything missing.
Yes.
That's my job, is to make sure the judge has it so the judge can do it and make the decision that the judge needs to make and not have anything wrong that's leading up to it.
Yeah, that could mean a lot of time.
Yes, and that's what's happening, I think.
Yeah,
In
where
some
it's
cases.
not, we're not seeing that time involved, and that's
Mhm.
probably causing the lag
Mm-hmm.
in getting these trials
Through the
going
system,
and through
right.
and finished and
Yep.
put to bed.
Yes, put to bed, I like
Yep.
that. We're gonna put them to bed.
But now, when they leave, when they get through with your level, they can have appeal, but that would go to the state level.
Yes. Yep, it'd go to the state Supreme Court,
Yeah,
yep.
so it's important though to get this.
You want it right then, because you don't want it messed up at that level, you know what I mean? If
Right.
I don't do it right at my level,
Yeah, that's the whole
then
thing too, and the other thing too.
it'll be thrown
if-
out.
If it isn't done right, you can be appealed to the
Yep.
Supreme Court, and then your person,
Right,
even though they're guilty, they get off.
Right, I don't want that to happen either.
And there's
None of us want that to happen.
There's a lot of smart attorneys out there that know how to do that.
Mhm. So,
And I don't blame them, they're working the law.
they're doing, right, they're trying to earn their pay,
Yeah,
but, yeah, that's our job.
they call it practicing law. And I like to make this analogy, it's like practicing medicine. And the reason that is because neither one is an exact science.
Mm.
The law is an interpretation.
Yep.
Because you can only interpret what the legislature wrote
Yep,
and what they meant. You can't be sure exactly what they, because they're not here.
it's funny, when you're a kid, you think adults have all the answers, that attorney has all the answers, or that doctor has all the answers. Obviously, as you grow up, you realize they're just people too, and
Right.
it's more of a process of elimination. For a
Yes.
doc, they figure out what you don't have, so that
Yep.
maybe you have that instead.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
And with the law, it's the same, they practice the law.
Yeah.
They look at past cases and
Yeah.
things like that.
Right, and interpret the law, not,
yeah.
not create the law. That's what you're supposed to do, right?
And then you got the jury, which can make a final decision on someone's,
Mm-hmm,
what's gonna happen in someone's life.
right.
And here again, you being, as a clerk, you have to file for the jurors?
Yeah, the jurors will go through our court, yeah, we have to, keep that pool running.
Yeah.
And keep that,
And
the
you're looking to
documentation.
get that more efficient.
Yes, definitely. I don't want jurors, I don't want anyone to have to come into court and spend a day
Well, there's a good reason
and waste
for
their time.
people in the county to vote for you, because believe me, I know, I think probably in my lifetime, about 6 times I got called
Oh,
to jury duty.
wow,
Yeah, for
that's
some
it.
reason, my name would come up all the time.
They saw
And-
that
and it would
Harry,
always
yeah,
be-
we
you got
want
a
Harry.
3-year period,
Yeah, yeah.
it'd always be, right
Oh,
after.
right on the third.
Yeah, and that 3-year period's over, then I got called.
Oh, yeah, Harry, it's Harry Stern. He's
Yeah.
back, he's back. We do have a lovely jury pool room in the new courthouse, so,
Oh.
so that's
I
at least.
didn't go to, ended up going to
Comfortable
Fitchburg.
Oh, yeah, well, sorry, if you don't get to make it to Worcester Court.
And now I'll be old enough to get out of it,
Yeah.
which is, it should be the other way around, because now I got more time on my
I
hands.
know. Can you do it if you want to do it?
I think you can,
Okay,
but I don't wanna go and sit there all
I
day.
know. If you knew you were gonna be needed and useful,
Yep.
you wanna go in. But you
All
don't
the
wanna sit
times
there
I got
all the time.
called, I have one trial.
Oh, out of the 6, you only went on one trial, wow.
Yeah, it was a loss, Judge Toomey.
Oh.
I don't know if you knew Judge Toomey, he's
Yeah.
deceased now.
Yeah,
It was a lawsuit against the the police chief of Worcester, who at the time was a police lieutenant who rear-ended a car on Vernon Street.
whoa,
And they were suing for back injuries,
okay.
and we found for the city, because we didn't believe her.
Oh,
We didn't
okay.
believe her, and come to find out, Judge Toomey told us after that, they were investigating the chiropractor and the attorney.
Oh, that they were corrupt?
Because they had a large number of cases coming forward.
Wow, that's amazing, yeah.
So, he said, you guys made the right decision.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Too bad he couldn't tell you beforehand, but
Yeah.
hopefully judges know what they're doing.
But we could see it, because you could see, you made the judgment based on the way the witnesses handled it, and you could see that they were just full of it.
Oh, well, that's good.
We gotta wrap it up.
Oh, wow, that
See
went
how
fast. That was
fast
a
that hour
fast an
goes?
hour, yeah.
Well,
It is
thank you
fast.
for coming in, Joanne. We're gonna have
Oh,
you
my
back,
pleasure.
Joanne.
Oh, great,
Yeah, we gotta definitely have you back.
all right. I
The
appreciate
primary's
that.
early,
Yeah.
so we got 2 months after that.
Yeah.
We have to schedule.
Oh, I'd love to come back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we will be back, definitely on August 9th, but maybe even sooner. So watch the schedule. And thank you for coming in,
Oh, thank you.
and thank you for watching. See you next time on About the Valley.